If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new album in the description. Okay, so A$AP Rocky just did something that I have wanted him to do for the longest time now, because he put his debut mixtape, LIVE.LOVE.A AP, on streaming services. I've had this thing downloaded on DatPiff and downloaded as a, zip MP3 for the longest time, because that's honestly one of my favorite projects from him. It's just, as I said, his first project in the game after dropping Peso, after dropping Purple Swag back in 2011. That was his breakthrough into the mainstream and the thing that secured him a record deal that then helped him to build the A$AP brand and then go on to do, the further albums that he did, Long Live A$AP, At Long Last A$AP, and stuff like that, while still, as I said, building out the A$AP mob and creating different creative ventures with the whole thing that was going on in music, in fashion, in acting and stuff like that. Now it's on streaming services now. You can go listen to it on Spotify. There are a couple of tracks missing. Kissing Pink is missing, and also Out of This World, which I'm really sad about, because Ferg's part on Kissing Pink is still one of the hardest Ferg parts to this day. And also Out of This World, I thought featured a lighter version of Rocky than we see on the rest of this project, so I like those quite a bit. But we did get one additional track, which is Sandman, a track that I've made videos about in the past that I was really excited about. I thought we were going to get that track on All Smiles. We're going to talk about All Smiles in this video as well, but let me just finish my thought here for a second. So we did get it on this one. That means it's not going to be on All Smiles, but it's really dope to finally listen to like an actually well mastered, well mixed version of this, because so far we only had the leak. We only had that very bad quality version of it that I've had on repeat for forever now on SoundCloud. So I'm happy we finally got that. This whole putting old mixtapes onto streaming is a trend that we've seen go on for quite some time now. We've had Drake with that Care package, bringing a lot of the songs that were not available on streaming services onto streaming, onto Spotify. I really like that move from him. I think that Care package is something that a lot of artists could use and could build into their streaming discographies, because it would just be really cool to have like a combined package, combined whatever you want to call it, playlist, mixtape, whatever, of all the old songs that fans go to SoundCloud for, or that fans go to YouTube for, to listen to have them finally on streaming. That Care package did perform pretty well for such a very unique project. Then also, very recently, only a week ago, we got Mac Miller's Faces on streaming services as well. So finally, one of his best projects on streaming as well. That thing now in its entirety, so that's really cool to see as well, and really dope to listen to. Now, Rocky, with this LIVE.LOVE.A AP version on streaming, this does have an occasion. It's the 10th anniversary, or almost. It dropped on November 1st in 2011, so almost the 10th year anniversary edition, but he had to drop it yesterday because it's on a Friday of this thing. He also dropped a trailer with it, with kind of some flashbacks and some throwbacks to the era when this was coming out. So it was really cool to get like a kind of like a time travel machine back into those early days of the A$AP mob and how they were coming up and stuff like that, which is really cool to see, because really the movement that they created coming out of Harlem was very powerful back in those days. So it's really cool to get some flashbacks into that. So from this, I can expect some more artists to then go on and put their old mixtapes onto streaming. I know it's a lot of work. They got to clear some stuff. They got to get all the rights to all those songs. Sometimes, the beats were not out there for profit and stuff like that. So I know it's a lot of work to get that done. Logic did this as well with the YS collection, by the way. That's another example I forgot to mention. So I hope that we do see some more of this happening in the future. Now, talking about All Smiles again, because obviously everyone's expecting a new A$AP Rocky record now that he's back in the limelight with this new LIVE.LOVE.A AP re-release. People are talking about him again, asking questions, when is All Smiles gonna drop? To that, I can't really give y'all any more information. We didn't learn anything in the meantime ever since we got that Rolling Stone interview where he talked about his creative process with it, being on the road with Rihanna, whom he is not in a relationship with. But since then, we didn't really get anything new. We thought that that Sandman single was gonna be on All Smiles, but now it's on this deluxe version in a way of Love ASAP, so that's not gonna be on there. We all thought he was still gonna drop this year in the summer. He didn't, so maybe next year, but then it's already gonna be 4 years since we got Testing. He has been featured on Young Thug's latest album Punk on Living It Up. He performed quite well on there. I thought he was singing a little bit. I thought it sounded a bit awkward at first, but I could really get used to that. It just shows him experimenting around a little more with his sound, and I really love to see that. I love when artists do that. Y'all know me. I've talked about this in so many videos already. So I do hope that we see some more of that side of Rocky, the more experimenting around, being a bit more creative with his songwriting, with his singing, with his rapping, with his flows, with all of that. I don't think that we're gonna have to wait on All Smiles too long anymore. It might drop in the winter time. I'm not exactly sure though, because as I said, the publicly accessible information on this thing is still very scarce, because he just hasn't been on social media, hasn't been out there at all. He's really keeping to himself, working on this thing, not out there, you know, doing interviews. He did do those two, you know, GQ videos, the one with Rihanna and the one going over his, you know, old-fashioned looks and stuff like that. And back then, I already made a video about that when that happened. I thought that, you know, he was about to drop this thing, and maybe this is all a process of rolling it out in the summer, leaking that Sandman song, and then doing that GQ video, back into the limelight, about to drop an album. He also on Sandman raps about him filming a jewelry collection video with GQ, so maybe he has more stuff coming up, and this is now kind of the building up to All Smiles with this Love ASAP release. Maybe that is it. That's just a theory. Maybe we're gonna get All Smiles very soon. This is the lead up to it, but it's just really unsure as to what ASAP Rocky will do in the future. Maybe he's gonna drop in the summer of next year, or maybe still this year. We just don't know. But if we do learn anything more about this, I'll be sure to have y'all updated. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to always stay up to date with anything ASAP Rocky and All Smiles related. Now, all of that was just my opinion, of course. I talked about a lot of different things in this video, but I want to know what you think about each of these. What do you think about ASAP Rocky's All Smiles album coming up? What do you think of the Sandman single? What do you think of him re-releasing Live Love ASAP now for streaming services? Do you think this is a good move? Do you think other artists like Logic, like Mac Miller, or in this case his estate, rest in peace, or Drake have done the right move by doing that as well? How do you think that will continue on in the music industry with the, you know, rise of just streaming to never before seen heights? So all of that, let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.